Greetings and salutations everyone, I'm Ekamac. This is the last run of Slay the Princess, the Pristine Cut. In the last episode we finished a total run, so why not start a new one this time, right?
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess. You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world.
We've never heard this one before, have we? Can't someone else do this?
Unfortunately, you're the only one who can pull this off. I don't make the rules. I wish I did, but I don't.
Silently continue towards the cabin. I actually have a list right here of the 6 routes I need to take.
You'll find the princess within.
Yes, that's right, 6 routes.
A warning.
Because I found out at the last minute that there is actually something I want to see for myself. But that means... oh well.
She will lie, she will cheat, and she will do everything in her power to stop you from slaying her. Don't believe a word she says.
Unfortunately, it's 6 routes when you're only allowed 5 per run, which means that I'm going to have to abandon one little run about halfway through. But don't worry, it's a razor run, so it will be worth it.
We're not going to go through with this, right? She's a princess. We're supposed to save princesses, not slay them.
Although not this one, I actually do intend to get through the whole distance this time round. Proceed into the cabin.
The interior of the cabin is almost entirely bare. The air is stale and musty, and the floor and walls are painted in a fine layer of dust. The only furniture of note is a plain wooden table. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right.
Unfortunately, we do need the knife for this first run.
It'd be rather difficult to slay the princess and save the world without it.
Into the basement. I know that I still need to show off a thing in Cage, but the thing is, we've already seen what happens when you...
The door to the basement creaks open.
So yeah, as I was saying, we've already seen what happens when you have Prisoner at the start at least twice, so we have to do something different. And we've also shown Damsel, so we don't need that.
From the ancient wood. If the princess really lives here,
honestly, this is the only one, because although we did get it at the start, we never actually showed what happens if you approach her without the knife.
Who's there?
She sounds dangerous. It's almost as if she's the one in charge down here.
Don't let it fool you. It's all part of the manipulation.
Hi.
Don't be a stranger. And it's been so long since I've had any visitors. Come on down.
You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. There's a heavy chain around her wrist, binding her to the far wall of the basement.
She's so coldly beautiful. Is she really a threat to the world?
Focus on the task at hand.
And there you are. Are you here to kill me or something?
Okay, you caught me. I'm here to slay you.
That isn't a good idea. Just drop the knife, and maybe the two of us can talk things out.
She's right, we shouldn't. We should just drop the blade. Don't you dare. It's fine. We can decide what we want to do after we talk to her. Maybe she really is a monster. But killing someone in cold blood isn't very becoming of us.
Drop it.
The blade tumbles out of your trembling hands and drops to the floor with an unceremonious clang.
Actually, ooh. Tempting, but we're gonna do this straight.
Thank you.
I did wonder what happens if we do go in with the knife further, but then drop it and talk to her. Because she does try to intimidate you. There are other times we can do it.
Against your better judgment, you step forward to speak with the princess face to face, unarmed.
We'll be fine.
I don't know what you're hoping to accomplish here, but I can assure you there's no reasoning with her. Just make sure you don't forget about the blade on the floor. You're going to need it.
So here we are. What an awkward start to a relationship.
Yeah, it's pretty awkward.
I know. I just said that. Now why are you here to kill me?
Do you know why I'm here to kill you?
That laugh. I think I'm in love.
Stop it.
I have no idea. To be honest, I don't even know why I'm down here, or how I got here.
I don't know whether I like Hiro's reaction to the laugh or the narrator's reaction to Hiro's reaction more.
I was kind of hoping you might be able to shed some light on the whole situation.
How would you get out of here?
You can't. Don't bother.
I'm guessing you don't have the key then. I'm sure there's a key somewhere around here, and if there isn't, well, we can always put that knife to good use.
Her sharp eyes settle on the edge of the blade. She isn't suggesting what I think she's suggesting, right? She is. I'm sure of it.
What's your name?
She hesitates before answering.
You can address me as Your Royal Highness, or Her Majesty. Any honorific should do, really.
Note the lack of detail. You can't trust her.
How long have you been down here?
Too long.
Again, she offers no specifics. No matter how hard you try, you'll never get a straight answer out of her.
Doesn't look like her dress should be staying up like that unless it's very tight, but okay, we've talked enough.
Oh, have you decided what to do with me?
You know why you're here.
I'm getting you out of here.
Oh, you have to be kidding me. You walk up to the chains binding the princess to the wall and give them a tug. They're large and heavy, far too solid for you to even imagine trying to break them apart.
If you don't have the key, maybe you should go looking for it. I'm sure it's somewhere upstairs.
Doubtful. Whoever locked the princess away down here intended for her to never see the light of day. They wouldn't have just left the key to her chains somewhere in the cabin.
I'm gonna check upstairs. Maybe the key's still lying around somewhere up there. And if not, maybe I can at least find something to break you free.
I'll be here.
You attempt to make your way out of the basement, but the door at the top of the stairs slams shut. You hear the click of a lock sliding into place. Is someone else here?
Hey, let me out!
Your shouts and pleas are met with silence. You're here to slay the princess, and you won't leave until the task is done.
Try the door?
You try the door, but it's locked from the outside. I'll repeat myself once again. You're here to slay the princess, and you won't leave until the task is done.
Return to the bottom of the stairs.
You make your way back to the bottom of the stairs. This would have been so much easier if you'd simply slain her like you were supposed to. Easier for whom? Easier for everyone.
I heard the door slam. They locked you down here too, didn't they? The knife. Pick it up and cut me out of here.
You won't like what happens if you do that.
Save the princess.
Against your better judgment, you place the blade against the princess's arm, just above the massive, unyielding chain. You cut into her flesh. The blade is sharp, and you make quick work of it. Before long, you're able to crack through bone, and she pulls the bleeding stub of her arm through the iron gauntlet. She didn't so much as utter a sound. Free from her bindings, the princess turns to face you, her fierce gaze meeting your eye.
Yeah, it's still a bit hard to watch that part.
How is she so composed after losing an arm? It's like she isn't even bothered by it.
Thank you. Now let's get out of here.
Approach the locked door.
No, We won't have any of that. The stakes are too high. You can't just let her escape into the world. No, I just can't let her escape into the world. As the princess approaches the bottom stair, your body steps forward and raises the blade. Wait, this isn't fair. You can't just do that. Watch me.
Warn her.
Stop that.
I thought this was a little too easy.
Your body lunges forward to sink the blade into her back, but the princess swiftly moves out of the way before you can connect. Stop it. Stop resisting me. I am trying to get you out of here alive.
And now we slay her.
Thank you.
Because it's time to play with the tower.
Swing your arm towards her throat, the blade singing through the air. But she's ready for it. She grabs your arm, her grip like a stone vice. You drop the blade, pathetically. She lets go, and faster than you can react, rears back and hits you with a bone-shattering haymaker. There's a ringing in your ears. You're fairly certain you can feel bone grinding against
So
bone
I
when
don't
she
know
fractures
how
your
this
bone, but your
specific
body isn't
line
allowed
would
to
lead to
feel
tower
much
if we're not
adrenaline
telling her that she's
through your
tower.
system and numbing your nerves.
But I can understand why this would lead us to the Broken, because you're being first you get bullied into Narita into trying to stab her, and then you get bullied by the princess into the next life.
You're barely able to bring your trembling arms up to defend yourself before she hits you again. Every blow is as punishing as the first. You feel bones shatter with every impact, unknown ruptures blossoming with blood somewhere inside of you.
You poor thing. I'll go ahead and put you out of your misery.
She places a confident heel on your chest and pushes you down to the ground. Her knee falls to your throat, your windpipe crushed beneath a weight you didn't think her slight form could possibly possess. It can't just end like this, right? I'm sorry, but it's over.
It's kind of weird how
Everything
Hero
goes
doesn't have anything to say
And you
until
die.
you get to that part. He didn't have any... Well, the last thing he said was, "This isn't fair, you can't just do this."
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world.
Ironically, this time is probably more accurate than usual. I'm getting a terrible sense of deja vu.
Terrible sense of deja vu. No, you don't have that. This is the first time either of us have been here. If he doesn't remember what happened, then maybe it's best to keep it that way. You know I can hear you, right? It's going to be a lot harder than you think to keep secrets from me. What does it matter what he knows? There's nothing we can do to stop her. She's just going to kill us again. She is not going to kill you unless you let her. But slaying the princess and saving the world is going to be much more difficult than it has to be if you spend the whole time second-guessing yourself.
This is more than just deja vu, though. I'm pretty sure this whole thing literally just happened.
It hasn't. Or if it has, I certainly haven't been a part of it. We've just met for the first time, you and I.
They left out "like I said." Let's assume I'm telling the truth and all of this did already happen. Why should I listen? Why should I bother doing anything?
Those are two very different questions, but fine. Let's say for a moment that this really is the second time you've met me. You died last time, which probably only happened because you didn't listen to me. Of course we died. She didn't feel pain. She didn't feel much of anything, did she? And she broke every bone in our body before she decided to let us die. What were we supposed to do to stop her then? What are we supposed to do to stop her now? It's pointless. She's just a princess. Slaying her shouldn't have been difficult, but congratulations. You've been given another chance to actually do this right. And I believe your other question was something along the lines of, oh, what's the point of doing anything? If you're asking that, it sounds to me like you're making the rather dangerous assumption that your actions last time around didn't have any consequences. What do you mean? Of course there weren't any consequences. Yes, but in this purely hypothetical scenario, if it's the latter, what do you think happened after you died? Do you think the people there lived happily ever after? If she ended the entire world, why should we even bother? We might as well just walk up to that cabin, break her chains and let her do whatever she wants. It's all the same in the end. Just because she's capable of ending the world doesn't mean you're not capable of slaying her. Both of those things can be true at the same time. So chin up. I believe in you.
Can we talk about this princess?
Just be quick about it.
All she did last time was... Wait, to quote you from last time, she's just a princess. Why was she strong enough to beat me to death with her bare hands?
She is just a princess. Whatever you think happened to you last time, just get it out of your head before you get to the cabin and you'll be fine. Or we could pledge ourselves to her and stop pretending that we're capable of doing anything in this situation. She probably doesn't even need to try to overpower us.
Wow, Broken is already giving up on any chance of winning here.
Can we tone down the pessimism just a smidge?
I'm not being a pessimist. I'm just being realistic.
You're being annoying. Just ignore their bickering, and whatever you do, don't pledge yourself to her. I cannot stress enough how absolutely catastrophic that would be for everyone, yourself included.
She killed me last time. How do I make sure that doesn't happen again?
Like I said, if she killed you, it was probably because you didn't listen to me. Don't talk to her, don't trust her, just go in, do your job, and save the world.
That's all.
Great. Now, if you don't mind...
Proceed to the cabin. Although turn around and leave is an
before you go any
option.
further. She will lie, she will cheat, and she will do everything in her power to stop you from slaying her. Don't believe a word she says.
Lying? Cheating? Why would she even bother? She didn't need to do anything like that last time.
She caught us off guard last time. We'll be fine. Let's just keep our wits about us. At least one of you still has a shred of sense. Just make sure you listen to him and not that whiner.
Proceed into the cabin.
If that's what you want, I guess I don't have a say here.
The interior of the cabin is larger and more grandiose than its humble exterior would suggest. The only furniture of note is a massive marble altar with a pristine blade perched on its edge. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right. Why do we feel so small?
We don't feel small. We are small.
You didn't say anything about the mirror on the wall.
That's because there isn't a mirror. There's the altar, the blade sitting on the altar, and the door to the basement. There's nothing else in here. There's definitely a mirror. There isn't.
Who cares if there's a mirror? We're all going to die anyway. And I'm sure that if we looked in there, we'd just see something sad and miserable looking back at us. We don't need any reminders of what we are. It would only make things worse.
For the last time, you're not going to die unless you let it happen. And luckily for you, there isn't a mirror, so no one needs to worry about confronting a grisly visage any time in the near future. Though, for what it's worth, if there were a mirror, I'm sure that you wouldn't find anything sad or miserable in it looking back at you. You probably look perfectly normal. Probably. Do you not know what we look like?
He knows. He just doesn't have the heart to tell us.
I want to look at myself. I want to see how handsome I am.
Please don't. I'd rather the princess kill us again than see how dreadful we are.
I care less about what we look like and more about whether we're being lied to. If he's willing to lie about something as innocuous as a mirror, what else is he hiding from us? I'm not lying to you. Use your eyes. There is no mirror. Why would I lie about something so meaningless? What good would it even do?
Approach the mirror.
You walk up to the wall next to the basement door. It's a wall. There isn't much to see here. This really isn't funny.
Wipe the mirror.
You reach forward and rub your hand against the cabin wall. I hope you know how ridiculous you look right now.
We should count ourselves lucky. Some things are better left unseen.
Alright, now we put down a little checkpoint. This looks like a good one to override. It's the same place. Take the blade.
You take the blade from the altar. It would be difficult to slay the princess and save the world without a weapon.
Into the basement.
The door to the basement creaks open, revealing a spiral staircase. Its steps almost as deep as you are tall. The smell of incense drifts up from below. For a moment, you almost feel at ease.
This is actually kind of nice.
It's still a stone basement. If the princess lives here, slaying her is probably doing her a favor. Her booming voice rolls up the stairs.
Is that a guest I hear? Don't linger on the stairs. Come down and witness me.
You weren't kidding when you said it was booming. She wasn't like this last time. We need to get down there. She wants us to see her. We need to see her.
Well, a single stone of the wall is also the same height as one of these steps.
Should we be worried about your sudden change in attitude? Just a few minutes ago you were going on about how pointless everything was. Now you want to go down there.
It doesn't matter what that little voice says. He's not the one making the decisions. Though if his ramblings get you to the princess, they get you to the princess.
Continue down.
Making your way down the spiral staircase is a time-consuming and exhausting effort, every step requiring you to clamber over one edge before dropping to the next. But soon the end comes into view, and you tumble to the bottom, entering the vast, temple-like room beyond. The princess towers over you, almost glowing in the weak starlight, her figure framed by a stained glass window. Her long hair billows around her, and a chain binds her wrist to the far wall.
Oh, it just struck me that it's a little unfortunate I picked this route first because it means that I can't show Omni Princess intervening to keep us from going from Tower to Fury. But I think that the end one will make it worth it.
The chain is nothing to her. It might as well be a toy for all the good it would do. I told you it was pointless to resist her.
The little bird has returned to me. I wonder what he wants. You brought that knife again, even though you know it's useless. Such charming audacity. Drop it.
Tighten your grip.
As if on command, the blade slips from your grasp. It clatters uselessly to the floor.
But we didn't drop it. We decided to grip it tighter, remember? Are you really just going to let that happen to us?
I have a duty to report facts as facts, and the fact is that you dropped the blade.
Of course we dropped it. She's so much more than us. You wouldn't understand what it feels like to be in her presence.
Oh, I understand what's going on, and you'd better snap yourself out of it.
Kneel.
No.
Oh, are you still trying to defy me? I said kneel.
Your legs buckle, and your knees hit the floor.
That's my good little bird. Now, why don't we talk? The last time we met, you couldn't even scratch me. And yet here you are again, trying to succeed where you've already catastrophically failed. What draws you back here beyond the empty halls of death? Speak.
The last time we met? I suppose that lends credence to our conversation in the woods. Still, whatever you do, don't tell her why you're here. It's best not to give her any ideas.
No.
Perhaps you need another lesson in submitting to your betters. Pick up that needle.
Do it. It's what she wants.
No objections here. I don't know what she's planning, and I don't like that we don't know what she's planning, but we might as well pick up the blade. As your eye falls on the blade, you feel a weight. Some divine hand that sits unperceived by your senses, but that manages to push you towards its desires like an unseen puppeteer.
You're not kidding about the divine hand. Who's doing this? I'm gonna kill you. Why? Darn it.
You reach forward and grasp the blade.
Stand.
This one's easy. See? This isn't so bad. Okay, yeah. We can do that. We were probably going to stand anyway.
I hate you. I hate you so much. All of you. Stop making me do things. I'm gonna kneel here forever.
You can feel a creaking tension between body and will as you slowly rise to your feet, like two foes forced into an unhappy truce. The princess eyes you with soft contemplation. The moment seems to last a lifetime, the silent anticipation of what's to come dragging out the long, painful seconds. But all silences are broken eventually.
To define me is to claim we stand on level ground. We do not. You are quiet shadow, while I am brilliant radiance.
She's got a bit of nightmare in her facial expression here, doesn't she?
Take that knife in your hand and slit your throat.
What? You don't have to listen to her. You're armed. Just steel your nerves, step forward, and end this.
Oh dear.
Oh, we'll end this all right.
Your hand lifts the blade and brings it towards your throat. Okay, I apologize for the unclear language. End her.
Slay the princess.
Your body is sluggish and unresponsive, actively fighting against you, but you do your best to stagger forward. One step at a time, you move towards the princess.
Interesting expression she has here. It's like, well, what's taking you so long?
Slitting your throat would have been a mercy, but it seems you're in need of a harsher lesson. Plunge that knife into your lungs.
I'm sorry.
Don't! As you take another step forward, the blade digs into your ribs, slicing through flesh with ease. It somehow feels like an entirely natural thing to do, while the simple act of walking has become an arduous impossibility. Then it slides back out, the wound burning as a small hiss of air escapes through the fresh orifice. Blood fills your lungs.
Now, do it again. Keep doing it until I give you permission to stop.
Those are just words. You don't have to listen to her.
It's what she wants.
You, heroic one, what are you doing? Don't just let this happen. Stop him from killing you. I'm on it. Your other hand locks around your wrist, struggling to keep it from perforating vital organs. But the blade still flails towards you, managing to slice bits of skin that plop to the floor to join the growing pile of blood and gore beneath you. Despite the pain, you manage to keep yourself in one piece. At least for now.
Ow!
What a pitiful display. A wounded little bird, thinking it can defy a god. It doesn't have to be like this. It doesn't have to hurt so much. You can choose a gentle end. You can choose to leave that punctured vessel for the next.
I think that this would put us on apathesis, but with the opportunist. Let's just keep going forward and see what happens. I can cut out.
You can pathetically struggle against yourself until the floor of this temple is painted with the bloody impressions of your futility.
You continue to approach the princess, even as the repeated gouges of your blade expose bone and muscle to the open air of the basement. You know, this would be a lot easier if you gave us a hand. My influence only goes so far, and I can only juggle so many things at once. The best I can do right now is to continue to drive you forward. Believe me, this whole ordeal would be so much easier if I didn't have to contend with free will.
You're the one making things difficult. You're the one making us hurt. She doesn't want to hurt us. She's just doing what she has to.
Stop.
As you finish crossing the room, you fall to your knees at the princess's feet, your chest heaving as your blood pools in the crevices of the stone floor, the coppery taste coating your throat. The princess kneels down, lifting your chin with her finger as her face lowers to yours.
Your devotion is misplaced. You've surrendered to delusion. But something about your defiant spirit speaks to me. You are different than you were before. Perhaps, if you've learned your lesson, I can spare you from the release of death. There's a place at my side for you, if you'll have it. Not as an equal, but as something worthy to be kept. A priest, perhaps, or a pet.
Well, that's demeaning, isn't it? Yes, how thoughtful of her. It's a mercy. Take it. I think he's given up whatever say he had at the start of all this. At least one of you is sane. She's within striking distance, and she's only negotiating now because she knows you have what it takes to put an end to her. Seize the moment before it's too late.
Pledge yourself to her.
That's right. I can feel your heart opening to me.
Now, here's the question. I believe that this gives me... Where is it? Ultimately succumb. Although I think that would have been the lead-in, wouldn't it?
And there's what you've been chasing. The motivation that dragged you across the floor, bleeding and choking. I am destined to destroy the world. Something about that thought wraps itself around my heart, as if it's a fundamental truth to my being that I'd somehow forgotten. The collapse of the old is a necessary prelude to the birth of the new, and the world as it is now is overdue for alterations. It's time for us to seize my destiny.
If this is what you want, then I guess there's not much else for me to say. No, you can't just give in to her, not when the stakes are so high, not when you're so close. I won't let you do this.
There's still something in the way. A greasy film inside of you where it doesn't belong, trying to conceal you from me. Is that a person? No, it used to be a person. It's something different now. An echo.
Is she talking about you? That's impossible. She's not supposed to be able to interact with me.
You're a small one, aren't you? A shriveling little worm stretched beyond its limits, trying to control things that it can't understand.
No. What are you talking about?
I don't care what you are. You're mine. Rise, my little bird.
Without hesitation, you're brought to your feet.
Break my chains.
And how are we supposed to do that? All we have is a blade. All you need to do is believe it's been done.
I have to. It's over. I'm sorry.
There's nothing to be sorry about. This is how it was always going to be. It is good. Alright, I'm done with this. I'm just gonna go sit in the corner. Let me know if we get our agency back.
Anyhow, we kind of know how this one's going to go, which is why I'm hitting load, going back, and entering without the weapon.
This time. Yeah. Maybe she'll be more receptive if we're unarmed. Blade, no blade. It doesn't matter. The door to the basement creaks open, revealing a spiral staircase. This is
Anyway, we have seen what she's had to say when we do this.
You shouldn't have come down here unarmed. We need to get down there. Should we be? It doesn't matter what that little voice says. Making your way down the spiral staircase is a time-consuming. The princess towers over you, almost glowing in the weak starlight, her figure framed by a stained glass window. The chain is nothing to her.
Now, an important thing about what I'm trying to do is that you must always resist her, which is why I went a specific way of getting ready for engaging with her. It's why I picked the stab her after releasing her option, because to get tower without releasing her, you have to just give up, and I don't know whether that counts or not.
I see your hands are empty. You've already given up, haven't you? You aren't even going to try and kill me. And more than a little disappointing.
She's disappointed in us?
Whoever would have thought Tower doesn't like broken?
Kneel.
Always resist. No.
But the words don't leave your mouth. Instead, your legs buckle and your knees hit the floor.
Every time.
That's my good little bird. Now, why don't we talk?
The last time we met, you tried to kill me. And yet here you are again. This time groveling at my feet. What a wretched sight. What draws you back here beyond the empty halls of death? Speak.
The last time we met? I suppose that lends credence to our conversation in the woods. Still, whatever you do, don't tell her why you're here. It's best not to give her any ideas.
No, I won't tell you.
You will.
Just do it already. It will feel so much better to do as she says.
Remain silent.
Do you think holding shut your beak is enough to stop me from prying it open? Do you think your skull can save your thoughts from being seen?
Can she do that?
There's nothing she can't do.
Stop giving her perception powers, Broken.
Confused. Meek. A chorus of submissive indecision. Is that why you came to me unarmed? It doesn't matter. All of it is easily brushed aside. And there it is. I am destined to end the world. Something about that thought wraps itself around my heart. It feels like a fundamental truth to my being that I'd somehow forgotten. The collapse of the old is a necessary prelude to the birth of the new. And the world as it is now is overdue for alterations.
I mean, if you'd like, I could always go back upstairs, get the blade, and stab you again.
It's time for me to seize my destiny. And you, little bird, will help me seize it.
She's inevitable. There's nothing else for us to do but help her. Maybe she'll be nice to us.
I'm not going to help you end the world. I don't care if something new comes after. I can't let you do it.
You poor deluded thing. Don't think you can muster up the strength to defy me now. You already submitted the moment you entered this temple without the will to end me.
What is she talking about? She's talking about your ridiculous decision to come down here unarmed. But it doesn't matter. Don't let her talk you into bowing down to her or whatever it is she thinks she can make you do. You can still go back and get the blade from upstairs. You can still stop her.
But we're already here, and we already made our choice, and there are so many tall stairs between us and that altar.
You're right about one thing. You already made your choice, and your choice was to defy her. I don't care how many stairs there are or how tall they are, you're going to turn around right now, take the blade, and save the damn world.
This is definitely new, isn't it?
Even now your vessel twitches and trembles, consumed by conflict with yourself. But that part of you standing in hopeless defiance isn't the only thing resisting me, is it? There's something else in there. Someone else. A greasy film sheltering your heart. Is that a person?
Okay, I feel like this isn't quite right, so... No, I won't take part in this.
You poor
What is she talking about? You're right about one thing.
Even now your vessel, but that part of you, is that a person? No,
Okay, I guess it's leading
it
us to the
used
same
to be a
thing.
person. It's something different.
Well, maybe
now.
I have to pick all the
An
explore
echo.
options first.
Is she talking about you? That's impossible. She's not supposed to be able to interact with me.
You're a small one, aren't you? A shriveling little worm stretched beyond its limits, trying to control things that it can't understand.
No. What are you talking about?
I don't care what you are. You're mine.
try to resist purely through the force of will, huh? No weapons. I guess it's not going to end any differently this time.
Are you okay?
I'm fine. I've always been fine.
No, this isn't right. What do? We can't just let her control us like this. I've been trying to tell you this whole time. It isn't about can or can't. It isn't even about will or won't. There is only one path in front of us, and we will walk it. We'll just refuse. Not even he could refuse her in the end. What are you supposed to do? We're all prisoners here. Some of us are just willing to embrace our chains.
When I see you again, you'll free me from my chains and deliver me to the destiny that lies beyond this place.
We will. I promise.
I know you will.
Everything goes dark, and you die.
Oh, that's an interesting one, isn't it? Also, we've gone to 40 minutes, so definitely over time. So next time on Let's Play Slay the Princess, ooh, we're gonna get Apotheosis again. I'll probably just go straight into trying to stab her and failing. And then lash out if she does start tearing into the long quiet borders, because darn it, we need new content. And technically we did get it.